There comes a moment in every woman's life when the noise around her becomes so loud she can no longer hear herself. The world will tell you what to say, how to act, who to be, and if you're not careful, you will spend your whole life living for their expectations, while quietly abandoning your own soul. But there is another way. A way of moving through this life without fighting every battle, without speaking every thought, without proving yourself to anyone. It is the way of silence. It is the way of focus. And it is the way that brings everything into place, not through force, but through presence. You see, the most dangerous woman is not the one who shouts the loudest. She is the one who speaks only when she chooses, who moves with intention, and who is so deeply connected to herself that no storm can pull her away from her path. Today, I will not ask you to become someone else, yet to become someone else. I will invite you to remember who you already are, beneath the layers of noise, beneath the endless demands, beneath the distractions that steal your peace. Because when a woman returns to herself and learns the art of silence, she discovers something rare. The world begins to shape itself around her, without her lifting a single unnecessary word. So listen closely, not to me, but to yourself, as we take this journey together. If we take this journey together. What I will share with you is not theory, it is a living truth. And if you embrace it, you will never chase what is yours again. Silence is often misunderstood. People think silence means you have nothing to say, or that you are avoiding conflict, or that you are powerless to respond. But in truth, silence is a conscious choice, a discipline that requires more strength than speaking, because words once spoken cannot be taken back, and reactions once unleashed can burn bridges you may later wish you had preserved. When you master the art of holding your tongue, you begin to master yourself. When you choose silence, you are not surrendering. You are creating space to observe, to listen, and to understand. You begin to notice details that others miss. The tone behind their words, the patterns in their actions, the truth in their eyes. You no longer react to the first thing you hear or the first thing you feel. You give yourself the gift of perspective. And perspective, when it is clear, always leads to better decisions. There is a kind of power in a woman who doesn't rush to defend herself. She knows that the truth needs no defense. She knows that the strongest statement is not always made with words, but with the way she carries herself. And while the world is busy arguing, proving, justifying, she remains still, unshaken, like a mountain in the midst of a storm. This is not arrogance. This is self-control. When you are silent, you protect your energy. You do not waste it trying to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You do not drain it by engaging in battles that do not lead to growth. You begin to conserve your strength for the things that matter, your health, your peace, your purpose, birth. And when you protect your energy, you become more grounded, more aware, and more capable of handling life's challenges with clarity. Silence is also a mirror. When you stop speaking, you start hearing the voice inside of you. You start noticing the thoughts that run through your mind, the emotions that rise within you, and the triggers that stir you. Many people speak just to avoid hearing their own inner noise. But when you embrace silence, you no longer run from yourself. You sit with yourself, and you begin to understand why you feel what you feel. This understanding becomes the foundation of unshakable strength. And here is something the world doesn't tell you. Silence reveals people. When you do not rush to fill the space with your voice, others will fill it with theirs. You will hear their intentions, their truths, and their lies without having to ask a single question. People reveal themselves in the presence of your stillness. They show you exactly who they are when you stop showing them who you are too soon. There is no need to match every insult with a comeback, no need to match every accusation with a defense. Not everything needs your energy. Not everyone deserves your explanation. When you know who you are, you no longer feel the urge to prove it. You allow your presence, your actions, and your silence to speak for you, and they will speak louder than any argument ever could. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. It is the soil where wisdom grows, the shield that guards your peace, and the quiet force that draws life into alignment. And once you learn to hold it, you will never waste your power on words that do not serve you. Most of the energy we lose in life is not stolen from us. It is given away. We give it to people we try to fix, to situations we try to control, to opinions we try to change. And the more we pour ourselves into things outside of us, the less we have left for ourselves. The truth is, you cannot create a life of peace and strength if your focus is always on the outside. At some point, you must turn your gaze inward. Shifting your focus inward is not selfish, it is essential. Because when you stop chasing external validation, you begin to feed the one source that can truly sustain you, yourself. You start asking different questions. Instead of how can I make them see my worth, you ask, how can I see my own worth more clearly? Instead of how can I make them treat me better, you ask, how can I treat myself better? And the moment you begin to nurture yourself in that way, you will notice something powerful. You are no longer running after what you once thought you needed. When you focus on yourself, your time becomes sacred. You no longer waste it trying to convince people to understand you. You invest it in learning, in growing, in taking care of your body, in feeding your mind with knowledge, in nourishing your spirit with stillness. You realize that the greatest project you will ever work on is not a career, not a relationship, not an achievement, it is you. And every hour you pour into that project compounds. It changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you make decisions. You also begin to see that you have been carrying too much, too many expectations that were never yours to meet. Too many responsibilities that were never yours to hold. Too many burdens that belong to others but somehow found their way into your hands. Focusing on yourself means putting those burdens down, not because you do not care, but because you finally understand that you cannot save anyone by losing yourself. And here is the shift. When you truly pour into yourself, you stop needing to prove your value. Your presence begins to speak for itself. You walk differently because you are not carrying the weight of other people's judgments. You speak differently because your words are no longer desperate for approval. People feel the change in you, even if they cannot name it. You are no longer chasing energy, you are radiating it. It is in this self-focus that you quietly raise your value. You are not trying to be seen, you are becoming someone worth seeing. You are not asking to be chosen, you are choosing yourself. And when you choose yourself fully, something remarkable happens. Life starts to rearrange itself to match your energy. People who cannot meet you where you are begin to fall away. Opportunities that align with your growth begin to appear. The noise that once distracted you begins to fade. You will notice that as you grow, the things that once consumed your attention seem small. The arguments you wanted to win no longer matter. The approval you used to crave no longer holds power. You understand now that the real work is not in making the world treat you better. It is in making yourself so whole, so grounded, so at peace that the world has no choice but to meet you there. And in that space, you will see the truth. The more you focus inward, the more everything outside of you falls naturally into place. That there is a certain power that is born the moment you decide to withdraw your energy. It is a decision that feels strange at first because for so long you may have been taught to give, to explain, to chase, to try harder when things are falling apart. But the truth is, there comes a point when the more you give, the less you are valued. And the more you try to hold something together, the more it slips through your fingers. The law of withdrawal is simple. When you stop feeding what drains you, it loses its power over you. When you step back, you see clearly. You see who was only there for what you could give them. You see who relied on your constant effort to keep the connection alive. You see which situations only existed because you kept pouring your time and emotions into them. The moment you pull that energy back, the truth reveals itself. If something collapses without your constant attention, it was never stable to begin with. If someone disappears the moment you stop chasing them, they were never truly there for you. Withdrawal is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It is about understanding that not everything and everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. And you do not have to fight to keep them. When you remove yourself from the wrong places, you create space for the right things to enter. Your silence and absence speak louder than your presence ever could when your energy has been taken for granted. It takes courage to stop explaining yourself. It takes discipline to stop running after people who choose to walk away. It takes self-respect to say, I will no longer give where I am not valued. This is where many struggle because withdrawal feels like loss. It feels like letting go of control, but in truth, it is the opposite. Withdrawal is reclaiming control. It is taking back the keys to your own peace. Think of how many times you have exhausted yourself trying to be understood. Think of how many times you stayed in a situation long after it stopped serving you because you believed you could fix it. And yet, no matter how much you gave, nothing changed. This is the moment you must understand. Your constant effort will never be enough for the wrong situation, and your absence will never destroy the right one. When you pull your energy back, you stop interrupting the natural flow of life. You allow people to show you who they are without your influence. You allow situations to unfold without your constant interference. Some connections will fade, others will grow stronger, and you will learn that you never needed to force what was truly meant for you. Withdrawal is also a mirror for others. When you are no longer available at every moment, when you no longer respond immediately, when you stop overgiving, people notice. Those who genuinely care will step forward. They will reach out. They will meet you halfway. Those who are only there for convenience will fade away. And this is the gift. You no longer have to guess who belongs in your life. The truth will reveal itself naturally. This is why silence and space are powerful tools. You do not have to argue with anyone about how they treat you. You do not have to demand respect. You do not have to explain why you are stepping back. Your absence will speak for you, and in that quiet distance, the world rearranges itself. Some will misunderstand your withdrawal. They will call you cold, distant, unkind, cool. But that is because your boundaries will always feel like rejection to those who benefited from your lack of them. You must be willing to stand firm anyway, because your peace is worth more than any relationship that requires you to abandon yourself. When you embrace the law of withdrawal, you begin to see how much lighter life becomes. You are no longer carrying people who should be walking beside you. You are no longer holding together things that are meant to fall apart. You are no longer spending your days proving your worth to those who are blind to it. Instead, you are directing all that energy back into yourself, into your growth, your healing, your dreams. And then something powerful happens. The right people begin to appear. The right opportunities begin to align. The right doors begin to open, not because you chased them, but because your energy is no longer scattered. It is focused, it is whole, it is magnetic. You no longer have to run after what you desire. It begins to find you. This is the law of withdrawal. When you stop pouring into what is empty, you allow your life to be filled with what is full. When you are centered within yourself, life stops feeling like a constant struggle. You no longer wake up each day bracing for battle or chasing after the next thing to fix. Instead, there is a quiet rhythm to your steps, a natural flow to the way life unfolds. This is the state where everything begins to align, not because you're forcing it, but because you have stopped standing in your own way. Alignment is not about having control over every detail. It is about being in such harmony with yourself that what belongs to you is drawn toward you effortlessly. You are no longer trying to bend life into your will. You are moving with it, trusting its timing, allowing it to carry you where you are meant to go. And in this state, even challenges feel different. They do not break you, they refine you. They shape you into someone even stronger, calmer, and more aware. When you live in alignment, you start to notice the difference between forcing and flowing. Forcing drains you. It feels heavy, desperate, exhausting. Flowing nourishes you. It feels steady, peaceful, almost inevitable. You begin to trust that you do not have to chase what is meant for you. You simply need to prepare yourself to receive it. And preparation is not about constant motion. It is about building your inner world so strong that when the right doors open, you are ready to walk through them. You are ready to walk through them. The more you stay connected to yourself, the less chaos outside of you can affect you. People may try to provoke you, but you no longer feel the need to react. Situations may try to pull you into drama, but you no longer feel the urge to participate. You have learned that not every fire needs your water, and not every storm requires your presence. This is not detachment out of coldness. It is detachment out of wisdom. Life has a way of testing your patience. It will send delays, detours, and disappointments to see if you will break your focus. But when you are in alignment, you understand that delays are not denials and detours are not failures. They are redirections towards something better suited for you. You stop resisting them. You learn to take a deep breath, stay still, and trust that the current is carrying you where you need to go. Relationships begin to shift in this state as well. The ones rooted in mutual respect and understanding grow deeper, while those built on neediness, control, or imbalance naturally fade. You no longer cling to what is leaving, because you trust that whatever remains has been tested by time, distance, and truth. And whatever comes next will meet you where you are, not where you were. Opportunities also find their way to you differently. You do not have to beg for them, force them, or prove yourself endlessly to receive them. They arrive because you have become the kind of person who naturally attracts them. Your consistency, your self-respect, and your calm presence make you magnetic to the right people, places, and experiences. And perhaps the greatest gift of alignment is peace, the kind of peace that stays with you regardless of what is happening outside. It is the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you need to be, that nothing meant for you will ever pass you by, and that no loss can truly take away what is yours in spirit. When you are aligned with yourself, you stop chasing life and start allowing life to meet you halfway.